Dames en here, die akademiese prosesie sal binnekort inbeweeg. U word versoek om asseblief op te staan.
Bomma le bontate, molokoloko wa dirutegi o tla tsena mo nakong e kopana. Le kgopelwa go ema.
Ladies and gentlemen, the academic procession will enter shortly. You're kindly requested to stand.
By the power vested in me, I hereby constitute this assembly as a legal congregation of the University of Pretoria. During this assembly, degrees with all its associated rights and privileges will be conferred on the candidates whose names appear in the program. Please take your seats. Ladies and gentlemen, I request you to please join us in silent prayer or meditation to give thanks for the achievements of our students. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a privilege for me to welcome you to the University of Pretoria this morning. This time of the year, there is an air of festivity at the university. It is graduation season. And although we have an average of 2 graduation ceremonies a day for this whole month, the thrill of celebrating our students' success never wears off. I wish to welcome our Acting Dean for the Faculty of Natural and Agricultural Sciences, Professor Vinesh Maharaj, the Deputy Dean for Teaching and Learning, Professor Paulette Bloomer, the Deputy Dean for Research and Postgrad Studies, Professor Gwebi Diodo, the Deputy Director for Student Services, Mr. Raputi Matehane. A warm welcome also to the chairpersons of schools, heads of academic departments, supervisors, emeriti and honorary professors, lecturers, and of course our representative from the Student Council, Ms. Gulsha Akoy. Welcome to each and every one of you. Today we will be conferring 262 degrees in the Faculty of Natural and Agricultural Sciences, specifically for the programs in the Department of Actuarial Science, Statistics, Mathematics, and Applied Mathematics. 2 of these are doctoral degrees. A heartfelt word of welcome to our graduating students. At this ceremony, the university will be bestowing an honorary doctoral degree on a very highly regarded leader in the South African and international science community, Dr. Simon Mason. Welcome, sir. Dr. Mason, welcome to you, your guests. We are grateful that you could join us in person today and are looking forward to being addressed by you. For that reason, I will keep my remarks fairly short. The Faculty of Natural and Agricultural Sciences here at the University of Pretoria is the largest of its kind in Africa, renowned for its expertise in forestry and agriculture, food systems, biotechnology, life sciences, the mathematical and statistical sciences, in the field in which graduates at this ceremony today studied in. The broad range of disciplines offered by the faculty allows you to tackle interdisciplinary societal problems by finding solutions to complex issues in modern society, such as sustainability of food production and food security, the cures for poverty-related and infectious diseases such as tuberculosis, HIV/AIDS, and malaria. This is achieved through targeted research and appropriate training focused on the latest technology and innovation. Researchers from the faculty have developed a powerful handheld screening device that is set to redefine the TB screening process, which could ultimately help to combat the TB pandemic more effectively. Tuberculosis is one of the deadliest infectious diseases worldwide, claiming more than 1.25 million lives each year, of which about 50,000 deaths occur in South Africa. It is also the leading cause of death among people with HIV. A UP campus company called Marty TB Diagnostics has been set up to drive the translation and application of this groundbreaking research, and I'm sure you heard about them recently in the media. Work conducted by the faculty's Department of Physics in collaboration with other faculties and departments has resulted in the university having been selected to host the new hub for the South African Quantum Technology Initiative, positioning this institution at the forefront of one of the world's fastest moving scientific frontiers and strengthening South Africa's capacity in next generation quantum technology and quantum computing, sensing, and of course, secure communications. Quantum technologies exploit the unusual properties of matter and light at extremely small scales, enabling capabilities such as vastly increasing computing power, ultra-secure communications, and measurement precision beyond classical limits. Governments and industries worldwide are investing billions into this field, recognizing its potential to reshape sectors including healthcare, finance, energy, and national security. The UP Hub, which is one of 6 national hubs and will be known as the UP Quest, will receive 5 years funding from South Africa's Department of Science, Technology and Innovation to advance research, technology development, and postgrad training in quantum technologies. For all the research, development, and innovation, we need the actuarial scientists, the mathematicians, the statisticians, and their expertise that are graduating today. The university's performance in various international ranking systems is one indication of our competitive position in a global university landscape. In the 2026 QS World University Rankings by subject, for example, the university was ranked globally for 20 subjects. For mathematics, our university was ranked number 1 nationally. The university's academic staff are at the heart of excellence we strive for, and the Faculty of Natural Agricultural Sciences has no shortage of internationally highly regarded academic staff. More than 200 of its academic staff have been rated by the National Research Foundation as experts in their field. 7 of these are what we call A-rated, meaning they are leading international scholars in their game. My message to students. To our students who are graduating today, I want to give you the assurance that you have earned a world-class degree here at UP that equips you to step into the workplace and to further pursue your studies anywhere in the world. Given that our graduates today studied in the broader mathematical sciences area, I thought it appropriate to leave you with a quote from Galileo Galilei, the 17th century Italian astronomer and physicist. He wrote, and I quote, "The universe cannot be read until we have learned the language and become familiar with the characters in which it is written. It is written in mathematical language, and the letters are triangles, circles, and other geometrical figures, without which means it is humanly impossible to comprehend a single word." Close quote. Among the many innovations that Galileo Galilei is credited with, perhaps the most important of his improvements to the telescope, which made it powerful enough to observe the moon's craters, Jupiter's moons, and the phases of Venus, discoveries that ultimately supported the idea that Earth is not the center of the universe. To our graduates, you may continue to learn and explore, and never stop the quest for new knowledge. And may the qualification you receive today enable you to contribute in ways both big and small to a brighter future for all humanity and a sustainable planet. Allow me to congratulate each one of you. Enjoy the ceremony, and as we say at UP, make today matter. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, I now request the Dean to introduce to me the candidate for the honorary doctorate.
Mr. Vice Principal, I have the honor of introducing to you Simon James Mason for the conferment of the degree Doctor of Science, Honoris Causa. Simon Mason is an international award-winning climatologist, active in research, teaching, climate services, development and consultation, and public and private sector engagement. His most important contributions include lead authorship of the implementation plan for the Global Framework for Climate Services, a United Nations agreement to promote and coordinate climate services nationally, regionally, and globally. Authorship of global standards for operational climate, forecasting and evaluation, research and consultation on heat waves under the United Nations Early Warnings for All initiative, and training of forecast meteorologists from about 150 countries. Dr. Mason led the development of a forecast system for the Red Cross and Red Crescent that led to the first ever preparation for flood relief by the Red Cross months in food shortages. Currently, Dr. Mason is involved in a program to implement forecasts for the next few weeks throughout Africa, a timescale for which forecasts are still largely unavailable. In this initiative is heavily based on software that Mason developed to enable countries to adapt global model outputs to their national contexts. This software is widely used in Africa, throughout Central America, the Caribbean, and parts of Asia to produce the official national climate forecasts. In recognition of the importance of this broad contribution to training and climate services generally, Dr. Mason was presented the Quadrennial Award for Outstanding Service by the World Meteorological Organization in 2018. Dr. Mason holds a bachelor degree in geography from the University of Oxford and a doctorate in climatology from the University of Witwatersrand, Johannesburg in South Africa. He served as Chief Climate Scientist at Columbia University's International Research Institute for Climate and Society, and is now a Senior Scientist at the United States Office of the Stockholm Environment Institute. Mr. Vice Principal, I request you to confer the honorary doctorate on the candidate.
I hereby confer the degree Doctor of Philosophy Honoris Causa on Dr. Simon James Mason with all its associated rights and privileges. Congratulations. I now have the honor of requesting Dr. Simon James Mason to address the Assembly. Dr. Simon James Mason will now address us.
The hardest part of writing this address has been these opening statements, offering my thanks and appreciation to the Vice Principal, Professor Maharaj, the Acting Dean, Professor Maharaj, the Selection Committee for electing me for this award, Professor Landman for nominating me, Professor Tyson for his mentoring and support. It is hard not to sound cliched and hard to exclude all the people who have contributed to steering my path and encouraging me. My wife especially needs to be thanked for coping with all the sacrifices that I have imposed on her, as well as for the essential motivation she has provided in so many ways. I heard that I had been selected for this incredible honor a few months ago, and I've been very excited since. I lived in South Africa for about 9 years and looked up to the University of Pretoria as the continent's center of expertise on meteorology. And of course, outside of my own field, it's veterinary science, law school, executive MBA, to name just a few, are highly ranked internationally. Professor Maharaj has given us an overview of how outstanding this university is by international standards. Getting an honorary degree from the University of Pretoria is especially significant for me because although I grew up in England, my career as a climate scientist started in this country. Of course, the primary reason we are all here is to congratulate the graduating students. They should be feeling a truly deserved sense of pride in one of the most important accomplishments of their life. Maybe a sense of a relief for some of you too, and not just by the students. And maybe also some trepidation. After all, you're facing a harsh truth. Anybody can access from ChatGPT, other AI systems are available, the subject matter that you have spent the last few years studying. You need to go out into the job market with your head held high, knowing that your knowledge, and let me be brutally frank, is just about useless. But it has always been that way. This is not a problem posed by AI. University is not a place where you go to learn facts or alternative facts. It is a place where you go to develop skills, build networks and relationships, build character, get exposed to new ideas and perspectives. When I was an undergraduate, before any of our classes started, one of the professors invited us to his house for a garden party. During the welcoming speeches, this professor told us that we should not hesitate to approach him or his colleagues if we needed to discuss anything. And then he said, and this is the bit I remember verbatim, we may not know many of the answers, but we do know most of the questions. If you think about it carefully, claiming to know most of the questions is quite an astounding boast. But in this address, I wish to share some personal perspectives on why it is essential that our goal is to know most of the questions. Your asset is not in what you know. It is more in knowing how much you know, and better still, how much you do not know. Only with a healthy awareness of the gaps in your knowledge can you start asking the right questions. Otherwise, you become too blinkered, too biased, too vested. In my own field of climate science, and inability to think outside of the box is why a great deal of what I can only call nonsense research is being perpetrated. That nonsense reflects two issues: an overconfidence in what we do and can know, and a failure to focus on relevant questions. Let me illustrate. There is a famous quotation by an equally famous statistician, and admittedly there aren't many other quotes by statisticians I can think of, but anyway, George Box, who wrote, "All models are wrong, but some models are useful." About 10 years ago, I tried to publish a paper in which I turned this sentence around. Some models are useful, but all models are wrong. My version has exactly the same content as George Box's, and yet the editor refused to allow the revision on the basis that it might fuel skepticism about climate models. But there are two dangers, not one. If you adopt the ordering in Box's statement, you will focus on the second clause, some models are useful, and forget about the first clause, namely the fact that your model is wrong. Why I think this is a big deal is that there are countless examples of climate change projections, for example, being overinterpreted to inform important adaptation decisions. I know climate modelling projects to identify which parts of cities may become most susceptible to heat waves by the end of the century as a result of global warming. That is an important question. But 2100 is almost 75 years away, by which time Gauteng, for example, will be unrecognizable. The urban effect on climate can be up to an order of magnitude stronger than the global warming effect. You can't project the climate 75 years into the future and sensibly assume that there will be no urban development at all beyond repairing potholes. It would be like projecting your annual household expenses based only on the fact that your child is growing and eating bigger meals, whilst ignoring the far more significant costs associated with school trips, university fees, car insurance, etc. The difficulty is that often the really important questions are unanswerable, and so we need to find alternative questions that A, we can answer, and B, are still interesting. That is what makes an expert. There is a quotation incorrectly attributed to Einstein that tells us if you have an hour to solve a problem, spend the first 55 minutes formulating the exact question to answer, and only the last 5 minutes to reach the solution. We too often do the opposite, formulate the question in the first 5 minutes, and then spend the remaining 55 minutes answering what proves to be an unhelpful question. A few people, like one of my guests today, Professor Vogel, are helping to correct this exact problem, i.e. getting blinkered climate scientists like myself to focus on answering relevant questions. In my own field, which is in predicting the next few weeks to months, there has been a lot of concern about why our forecasts are not used as much as we would have hoped. The forecasters assume, somewhat condescendingly, that the forecasts are too complicated for the users. But the constructive bluntness of a colleague from the Red Cross pointed to the real problem. Forecast something interesting. We climate forecasters are too often asking the wrong questions. And not just we forecasters. It is a pervasive problem affecting not only science, but politics, ethics, religion. We swap the difficult questions for trivialized, ultimately unhelpful questions. Unhelpful at best. Climate science is quite a contentious field. At least it is in the United States. I am often introduced to people who have no training in anything relevant to climate science at all, but who, on learning my profession, try to persuade me that climate change is a hoax. It always astounds me that people have such strong convictions based on such poor knowledge and understanding. But instead of becoming critical, I have to ask, in what way is the same true of myself in other topics? And even in areas of my expertise, what can I learn from this person, even if I know far more about the topic than they do? They have perspectives that are different from mine. What aspect have I not thought about? How might I be wrong? How might I be wrong? That is not just a technical question. It is a radically difficult question. Technically challenging questions are not the only ones that are difficult. Personally challenging questions can be even harder. The questions that are most painful, the ones that are most scary. One of my invited guests, who is unfortunately not able to be present today, Dr. Stonestreet, taught me to ask, what is the question that I am most scared of? Then to face it, and urgently. If I have a doubt, fix it. If there is a truth that hurts, face it. The truth hurts because, like physical pain, it is screaming at you not to ignore it. And it is here that I want to close by addressing those students who may be feeling more anxiety than excitement and pride. Those who are leaving the university unsure whether they are qualified for the career of their dreams. As an undergraduate, my professors deliberately went out of their way to confuse us. And that confusion had not abated much by the time I graduated. University was intentionally an intellectually unsafe place where assumptions and beliefs were challenged to the core because it is harder to unlearn than it is to learn. It was extremely unsettling at the time, but far better to graduate confused than deluded. The greatest benefit you should have received from your education is your ability to question. You have the rest of your lives to learn, and far better to rebuild on firm foundations. If you have lingering confusion, you are possibly in a far better place than you realize. It shows you do at least have more questions than answers, and that can become your strength. Thank you, and may you all flourish.
Let's give Dr. Mason another round of applause. Thank you, Dr. Mason, for your inspiring speech and also exciting our future graduates to move forward in their quest for knowledge. I now request the Dean to introduce to me the candidates whose names appear in the program.
Mr. Vice Principal, the supervisors will now introduce the doctoral candidates.
Mr. Vice Principal, I introduce to you Ifeanyi Patrick Iroanyam. Who has complied with the requirements for the degree Doctor of Philosophy with a thesis titled On the Orders of Vanishing Elements of Non-Solvable Groups, prepared under my supervision and with Professor Rodriguez as course supervisor. In this thesis, the candidate classified certain finite non-solvable groups with few vanishing elements. In particular, they considered finite non-solvable groups with a trivial solvable radical, which satisfy the one-prime hypothesis on the set of orders of vanishing elements. They showed that these groups are either almost simple or have a circle isomorphic to the direct product of two alternating groups of degree 5. This is the first study to investigate the one-prime hypothesis for the above-mentioned set. The candidate also studied finite non-solvable groups whose vanishing orders set has size that is less than or equal to 5 and showed that these are almost simple groups. Their results are analogous to those of character degrees with the same restriction on size. The vanishing orders conjecture on simple groups was investigated and proven for some finite Chevalier groups of type F4 over a field with Q elements. Mr. Vice Principal, I request you to confer the degree on the candidate.
I hereby confer the degree Doctor of Philosophy with all its associated rights and privileges on the candidate. Congratulations.
Mr. Vice Principal, I introduce to you Claudio Michael Jardim, who has complied with the requirements for the degree Doctor of Philosophy with a thesis titled Statistical Featurization of Sequence and Toroidal Data in Bioinformatics, prepared under my supervision and with Prof. Fabrice Rotelli and Dr. Dival as co-supervisors. In this thesis, the candidate developed novel interpretable methods that significantly advance robust and reproducible feature representations for both structural and sequence-based biological data. By integrating natural language processing for sequence data with advanced toroidal mixture modeling for structural data, the candidate produced efficient, reproducible feature representations that demonstrate the importance of featurization and accelerate machine learning applications in drug discovery. A key aspect of the thesis is the formulation and application of advanced statistical procedures, including large-scale hypothesis testing, bootstrap resampling, efficient Bayesian inference, and simulation-driven model selection to evaluate the ability of learned representations to capture biological signals. The application of these methods include predicting protein-protein interactions, classifying molecules, and evaluating predicted protein structures without performing complex deep learning approaches while remaining highly efficient and fully reproducible. Mr. Vice Principal, I request you to confer the degree on the candidate.
I hereby confer the degree Doctor of Philosophy with all its associated rights and privileges on the candidate. Congratulations.
Mr. Vice Principal, the following candidates have complied with all the requirements for the degree Master of Science specializing in advanced data analytics. Jacobus Blom with distinction. Waldo Botha with distinction. Henya Glass, Thank you. Ingrid Kruger with distinction. Pamelelo Leccia. Peterson Mambo Demembe. Katlejo Meslape. Jamie Lee Nell with distinction. Ockert van Heerden with distinction. Lynette Welpton with distinction. In applied mathematics, Richard Pretorius. In mathematics, Ben Victor with distinction. Bachelor of Science Honours in Actuarial Science, Gemma Bemard. Nicolau Borigenero. Heineke Bauer also receives the award, Outsurance Prize Award for the Best Performance in Actuarial Communications, IAS 722. Refolohepa Chaisi. Tanasha Chiferira. Dylan Chimuza. Lena Crawford. Chloe Cresswell. Arno de Brain. Reichardt Denischen. Rodney Dlamini. Nicole Domashevska. Tyler Doyle. Magdalene Dupree. Diego Enderman. Esti Fori. Lex Harvey. Karain Hayter. Makwao Huslu. Michael Jacobs also receives the award for the Discovery Holdings Award for the Best Research Project for the BSc Degree Honours. Actual Science, the prize is also shared. Nemian Khan. Ndovahuo Kwenda. Mone Labuskachny. Gisela Lichtman. Daniela Liche also receives the Discovery Holdings Prize for the Best Performance in Actuarial Risk Management IAS 712. Marie-Joanne Makin. Tatenda Maduko. Denli Mahara. Isabella Millet. Aidan Pevley. Ibn Pinar. Rivash Rajkumar. Arya Singh. Shival Suke also received the Discovery Holdings Award for the Best Research Project for the BSc Honours, Actuarial Science. The prize is also shared. Joshua Tedder. James Tipshirani. Zander van Blerk. Luan van der Walt. Landon Filyoun. Vian Foster. Abdul Sattar Wajah also received the MMI Group Limited Prize for the Best Performance in Life Insurance, LEW 700, PPS Prize for the Best Performance in BSc Honours Actuarial Science. Braden Veltagen. Elaine Willemse. In applied mathematics, Jennifer Brink, with distinction, also receives the SAMS Bronze Medal for the Best Honours Student in Mathematics or Applied Mathematics. Mantapelo Rakoma. Alfred Chwane, with distinction. Casey van der Merwe, with distinction. In financial engineering, Adir Danasir. Michael Kershaw. Domsa Matoti. Sorry. Also the only female BSc Honours in Financial Engineering 2025. Rorisang Maslaudi. Ferdinand Thenga. In mathematical statistics, Mashlangolo Kunolo Shangane. Shanae Crocker. Amologeng Gona. Alexandre Kleinsmith, with distinction. Rachel Locke, with distinction. Also award the Statomet Prize for the best performer in mathematical statistics at honours level. Marinette Locke. Jetsa Makasela. Ayanda Manana with distinction. Unene Mashila. Sandisiwe Makanawazi with distinction. Wesley Muguwu. Dingi Mempilo Mukono. Samantha Nkupule. Melissa Nkomo. Aiden Skitter. Luke Smith with distinction. Oriwela Tangwana with distinction. Pharrell Williams. In mathematics, Caitlin Murray. Paul Pochita with distinction. In mathematics of finance, Mtunzi Manana. Johannes Miller also receives the Gensex Prize for the best student in the degree BSc Honours Financial Engineering or Mathematics of Finance. Bachelor of Science in Applied Mathematics, Talula Jones with distinction. Lisa Kettles. Makanaka Makonye. Zoe Stander. Yano Fenter. Nicolas Verhoef. In mathematical statistics, Muhammad Abdul Rahman. Pitso Baloi. Bitanya Belay. Dylan Dabadi. Daniel Edwards. Kirsten Ford. Shlela Joni with distinction. Justy Kalen. Marco Caminos. Damando Katsisatis. Cicelo Caisa. Karina Leimerker. Karabo Letsaolo. Lapana Mahela. McDonald Machoba. Retabile Mahoba with distinction. Esther Mazarura. Candy Manga Ghana. Bushlali Bashlazi with distinction. Mojalefa Mokhotati. Severe Monkey. Taledi Mampela with distinction. Jamakelo Mugwena. Horatia Naidu. Risuna Mandlane. Innocent Islamo. Sipasishle Slapo. Manse Pandi. Abhishek Patel. Benjamin Pashlane. James Blunt. Amber Barchita. Maki Pretorius. Khomotso Ramakhwari. Hane Roots with distinction. Yanko Roots. Musa Sibia. Shapang Toka. Divan van der Heide. In mathematics, Edward Harvey. Rabelani Madua. Shravan Sibran with distinction also receives the Dewald Hatting Book Prize for the best third-year student in mathematics. Christopher Cedus with distinction. Bachelor of Science in Actuarial and Financial Mathematics, Babatunde Adulesi. Lene Becker with distinction. Bibi Zinara Budu. Nande Boy. Dean Bruggeman. Estine Brains. Tanaka Chikwanda. Claudio da Silva. Madison Dalrymple. Yolandi De Beer with distinction. Nico Durant. Aisha Ibrahim. Dylan Farrell with distinction. L.A. Gottfried. Ushay Govan. Dashian Govender with distinction. Makoseni Nkoli. Zia Hasim with distinction. Emily Hawkes with distinction, for which she receives the awards for the Vice Chancellor Principal Award, which will be awarded later. Ignatius Hendricks. Jenna Henry. Aaron Su. Amika Jacobs with distinction. Ansu Jordan. Stefan Joubert with distinction. Gunther Jurgens. Akhil Prakash Kulari. Simone Kamfunde. Luke Kleb. Monique Kloppers. Chakane Koko. Tiana Kloppenga. Mia Langenhoven. Gerard Leroux. George Lieb. Tendo Lobengo. Naledi Mabitsi. Shivabombero Maduku, with distinction. Molokhadi Maditsi. Tendai Madosi. Njabulo Madize, with distinction. Gamagelo Mafakwane. Ika Machoma, with distinction. Shayur Maharaj. Katletlelo Maslunga. Nara Maleka. Kachuslelo Mana. Johannes Mans. Nicole Murray. Theon Marks. Tami Maboya. Danae Meyer, with distinction. Nakutula Mokwena. Dikaledi Molete. Johannes Müller. Ketanya Mudley, with distinction. Rashay Musa. Joanne Mashudi. Letabo Mshe. Rutendo Mukurunga. Voletsani Mushinyalo. Takudzwa Mutugama. Tishlin Naidu. Cameron Naidu. Brenton Naya. Mark Snell with distinction. Kiara Ngum. Bonisilwe Nkomo. Reiko Nogueira. Ambogile Nambona. Clarissa Otto. Naishlin Pather. Ivana Pavone with distinction. Bianca Peterson. Isel Paul. Franco Pretorius. Ayush Raghunanan. Bradley Robbenheimer. Hannah Reddy. Kate Roberts. Kaylin Rogue. Taryn Sabi. Fadil Salaji. Victoria Santos with distinction. Ashwan Singh. Marika Small. Ian Smith with distinction. Manfred Spiewak. Natalie Stoffels. Jordan Schlorner. Dembesile Suteka. Tatum Talyard with distinction. Jack Tasker with distinction. Kakoetse Tefo. Kevin Tennant. Reggio Thomas. Chart van der Walt. Fred van Niekerk. Zach van Niekerk. Philip van Staden. Seth Viren. Yanni Verwey. Jean Versace with distinction. Justin Warren. Frederick Vessels. Petrus Visa. Kane Williams. Douglas Jespek.
Thank you. I now request the Dean to introduce to me the candidate for the presentation of the award of the Principal and Vice Chancellor's Award.
Mr. Vice Principal, I have the honor to introduce to you Emily Jane Hawkes for the presentation of the award of the Vice Chancellor and Principal. Emily Jane Hawkes complied with all the requirements for the Bachelor of Science in Actuarial and Financial Mathematics degree on 28 November 2025, and the degree was conferred with distinction. Emily Jane Hawkes is acknowledged as the overall top achiever in the Faculty of Natural and Agricultural Sciences for the year 2025. In addition to this, she's also received the Assurance Prize for the best performance in third-year BSc Actuarial and Financial Mathematics, the FNB Prize for the best performance in survival models, IAS 382, the Prudential Investment Managers Prize for the best performance in contingencies, IAS 353, and the Statomet Prize for the best performance in mathematical statistics at 300 level. Mr. Vice Principal, I request you to present the candidate with the award of the Vice Chancellor and Principal.
Thank you. I hereby present Emily Jane Hawkes, the Vice Chancellor and Principal's Award for Outstanding Student. Congratulations. Ladies and gentlemen, let us give our graduates a big hand for their hard work and perseverance. Thank you. I would also now like to request our graduates to applaud their families, friends, partners, and spouses for their support over all these years. Thanks. We have now come to the end of today's proceedings. Before we close, I wish to invite all of you present for liquid refreshments afterwards in the front of this hall in the marquee. You are requested to please stand for the singing of the national anthem and to remain standing until this assembly has been dissolved and the academic procession has left the auditorium. The words of the national anthem will appear on the screens and the inside back cover of your program. I request you to please rise for the national anthem. By the power vested in me, I hereby dissolve this assembly of the University of Pretoria.
Canteamus